You're here with Maks Iun. First question, can you introduce yourself and briefly tell us about your background in Béhourd?
My name is Maks Iun. I'm a Béhourd fighter, Béhourd coach and Béhourd YouTuber from Russia. So I do it around 23 years. From my 14, I'm 37 right now. So I'm four-time world champion as part of Russian national team on Battle of the Nation. I'm one of creator of All Friends team. It's one of the strongest Russian team and strongest team in the world. So I have been fight for Old Friends since 2014 until 21. Yeah, and start from 2022 I'm a head coach of Old Friends. So now my team is sometimes first, sometimes second team in Russia. And when I were a fighter, I was third number on a place, like a center guy. And I'm not too big for this sport, and that's why I was forced to move a lot and learn a lot of special techniques and try to learn very deep. Yeah, I learned from another sport, from judo, Muay Thai, American football, rugby, fencing, from everything I could reach.
Okay, thanks. Second question, what attracts you in this sport?
Actually, it's absolutely exclusive sport. I mean, absolutely unusual sport. It's a fight sport, but at the same time, it's a team sport. Yeah, we have not examples. So you have to be good in fight, but you also have to think like a team player. Because sometimes teams who don't have so many good fighters, but have good synergy between fighters, sometimes this team can beat a team who has top-level fighters. It made the sport unique. And I do it from my childhood. And even though it was a bit different and it has another name, it was like it was called historical fencing. And at some point it was more about duels, but since 2005,
okay,
like 25
yes,
yeah, a year, it became more about Béhourd. I love any version of this sport. I like duels, I like pro fights, and of course I'm totally crazy about mass battle, about 5 versus 5, 12 versus 12, and bigger. It's a kind of unique sport.
Okay, thank you for your info. Maks,
how did you discover Béhourd and join your team?
How did I discover Béhourd?
Yes.
Okay, it was maybe 2000 here, like 2000. It was a year when Lord of the Rings became to the big screens, and I was a child, and when I see Lord of the Rings, the first part, Brother of the Ring, I was totally crazy, and I was, wow, I want to fight with swords. And at this moment in Russia, media started to tell a lot about historical fencing club, role-play club, etc. And I was surprised, but my home city in Magadan, it's a really small city far east of Russia. Even this little city, there was a club, and I joined this club, and I was 13 years old. So it was my first club. It called Bratina from Magadan city. I was a member of Bratina until my 18. Then I moved to St. Petersburg to the study, yeah, to university, yes, and I changed the club, of course, and I left the Bratina, and I joined to PLK club. It was one of the biggest and strongest club in St. Petersburg and in Russia. So maybe in I don't remember, 2007, 2008, a big part of PLK team leaves the PLK team and joined to Bern club. Now Bern is the biggest Russian club, maybe biggest in the world club. So, and we start to do 5 versus 5 fights, and it was time of first Battle of the Nation, and in Russia, after first Battle of the Nation, movement get so good boost, and I was part of one team, another team. It was, you know, one-day team, just for one tournament. Maybe in 2010, 2011, create a team, Fortress of Goodness. Yeah, it was a quite good team for these days for Russia. Yeah, but we had a problem with squad. At some point we find us like we don't have enough people for competition, and we united with one more team from Russia, from south of Russia, and this team get named Old Friends. So, and now it was in 2014. Since 2014, Old Friends exist, and I'm a part of this team, and I was one of creators of this team. And for this more than 10 years, it was a good team, not a strong team. We have different times, but now we are one of the best in Russia, in the world.
Okay.
If if you cannot join the team, create it.
Russia is known for its high level in Béhourd. How do you explain the enthusiasm and dominance in the sport?
Okay, yeah, we in Russia, we love Béhourd. I think it's just because Russia was the oldest country who started to do this. The movement of reenactment and battle reenactment there is in Russia maybe from 1984, yeah, and we just have big tradition of armor fights. So when first Battle of the Nation project started, we already have a lot of experience, and probably at that moment we were more experienced country about Béhourd. So we just have big tradition. And now in Russia we have a national championship. It calls Sword of Russia, and we have 20 good teams in this championship. It's kind of high-level championship. Also we have a lot of teams who did not join to the Sword of Russia because of their level. They are not so. A few big clubs in Russia, like Bern, biggest club in Russia. Yeah, Bayard, NSK, etc. And we have a lot of little clubs in different cities. And since 2022, start to focus on domestic championship, not outside of country tournaments, but we start to fight more each other, and we start to visit a lot of Russian tournaments, and it gave boost for Russian HMB. So, and now I think Russian championship strongest in the world. Yeah.
Yes.
And we have super top team and a lot of good and strong teams, and the gap between them not so big.
Béhourd is like soccer?
No, not at all, of course. It's still a little sport, but if we, in comparison with another country, yes, of course, in Russia, Béhourd is very popular, but still it's a very niche
yes,
sport.
Yes.
Yeah, but maybe in future it will change, because you know at some point football was a strange game with the ball, hockey, rugby. So we need the time, and if you read history of I don't know, American football or hockey, you can find a lot of parallel with Béhourd, like in first 10-20 years of this sport. Like when NHL started, first 10-20 years was absolutely like our championship right now. But they had 100 years. We just need the time.
Okay.
What are the most important competition in Russia?
Of course, Russian National Championship, as I told, it calls Sport of Russia. Usually it have several parts, like several tournaments, and the team go to these tournaments, fight each other, and after all we have the final tournament. For example, in last year we had 7 tournaments, but this year they decided to make only 5 because people need time to rest. They need, vacation after season. Yeah, that's why just they decided 5 is enough to find a champion. And we have 2 trophies, like champion of regular championship. It shows how stable team were on a distance. And the last tournament, it is separated trophy, Russian National Cup. It shows who is the best on the last step, last moment. So it's 2 different trophy which show 2 different aspects.
Some question about your role of coach.
Okay.
So, how many fighters are you currently training?
Okay, I can say I'm a head coach of old friends, but still I'm one of trainer in St. Petersburg HMB Academy. More and less I teach about 25 persons, but only maybe 10-12 is who I teach deep. I don't know.
Okay.
In my team, in all friends, we have right now 10 fighters, and also I'm a teacher of a few guys from another teams and few girls from female team. So yeah, less and more I'm a coach for 25 person and 10, maybe 15 people who I teach with more attention.
Okay.
What do a typical training week look like for
Me personal or my team?
Yes, your team.
My team. We have unfortunately, sadly, we have not too much training as I want, but we have at least 1 judo training in soft armor, and team training in steel armor. Last one, steel armor training, it's Saturday, and we have a lot of time to train, so Saturday training it's about 4 and more hours. But week's training it's about 2 hours. So, and of course, and guys do CrossFit, some of them have facultative on Muay Thai, fencing and Alibarda class, but if we talk only about like team, 3 training.
Okay. If you had to choose only one key aspect of physical preparation for boot, what would it be? Strength, cardio, explosiveness?
Just one?
Yes, one.
Tricky question. It's difficult. Strength, stamina, closing. Maybe closing.
Explosive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And top three?
Top three, yeah, probably exploding, agility, strength.
How do you balance training session between soft training and full armor?
So I believe we don't need to take armor too often. One time a week is enough. And if we are preparing to the big tournament, at least last weekend before tournament, we don't use steel armor because we don't want to get stupid injury or broke armor. Yeah, and week before tournament, it's a week for rest. When we do training in a week, we do some stuff and some exercises in soft armor, and then on Saturday we try to repeat it in steel armor. So how does it work?
Okay.
Do you think practicing other sports can be a really good major asset for Béhourd?
Yeah, absolutely. Because our sport is too young, yeah, and there is no book or tutorials how to be a good HMB fighter, good HMB coach. So we have to learn from another sport who has big tradition of teaching. So my personal top is judo, Muay Thai, Olympic fencing because of feel of time, feel of distance. Yeah, perfect. And some team sport. I prefer hockey, American football, rugby. Maybe just football. I mean soccer. It's maybe it's good too, but a bit not like we need. But yeah, rugby, American football, hockey is good for me. So I think if you wanna be a good HMB fighter, but you live in the city where you don't have any HMB academy and you don't have teacher to you can go to judo, you can go to Muay Thai classes and learn from them, and it's better than nothing. When you face a team, face opponents on a list, you will be prepared somehow. Yeah.
Okay. How do you identify someone with a great potential in both?
How I find him?
Yes. How do you say that this person could be a good fighter?
Actually, it's always a difficult question because sometimes you can see a good guy who is strong, tall, fast, and agility. But when he starts to train, you understand he doesn't have a lot of discipline. He don't want to invest a lot of time to training. But sometimes you look at the guy who is absolutely not for this sport. He's short, he's ugly. I don't know, he's still, but he come to training and he has a lot of discipline. He do everything you told him, and he tried. At some point, you understand he is good. He became good. For example, I have these examples in my team. There was a guy who, when I met him, I decided like he's a good guy, but he's not here for this sport. Yeah, but after 3 years, he's one of my favorite and one of my most efficient fighter. Just because he worked hard, even though he doesn't look like a good example for this sport. Just because he really wanted, worked hard. So that's why it's a really difficult question. A guy can look like an excellent person for this, but when you start to work with him, you understand, no, he isn't. Probably what I should to say to people who train, recruit fighters to their team, if someone doesn't look like a good option, but he wants really hard, really with big passion, give him a chance.
Okay. In your opinion, what are the key qualities of a good coach?
Oh no.
Difficult question.
A difficult question, of course. Again, there is no some special book or manual how to be a coach. Yeah, good if this person have a real experience, it's good. But sometimes it's not necessary if he really good theoretic. Yeah, I think if you want to be a good coach, if you want to be a good teacher, you have to be a good student. You have to learn from whatever you can reach. Again, you can learn something from judo. You can learn something from Muay Thai. As you could see on my workshop here, yeah, I showed you stuff from rugby, from American football, from judo. I can show you a lot of stuff from Muay Thai. And if you can learn from another sport and other people, and you have to be a bit creative to adopt it to HMB. If you're ready to learn, if you're ready to adopt it, you can be a good teacher.
And quickly, just yes or no. Do you think that it's necessary to be a good fighter to be a good coach? Yes or no?
Again, it's a difficult question. I would say yes, but you don't need to be best.
Okay.
If you're just good fighter, it's enough to be a good coach. And usually guys who is real best, they are not so good in teaching because they do a lot of stuff, you know, with their talent. They don't really understand how they do this. They just do this. Yeah, that's why the person have to be a good fighter, yes, but not necessarily to be a best.
Okay.
To be the best.